So, welcome friends from all over the world. I'm Fabio Battaglia, Director of the Lean Institute Brazil, and I would like to welcome you to this very special session, Reducing the Risk of Supply Chain Failure, a case study by Novo from Brazil. It's an honor to have your audience today. Thanks for joining. Well, Novo Nordisk is a global healthcare company founded in 1923 and headquartered just outside Copenhagen, Denmark. They employ more than 40,000 people in 8 offices around the world and market their products for 169 countries. Lean Institute Brazil had the privilege of being invited to support Novo Nordisk in Brazil, and we are honored to share with you some of the things that we learned together. Even before the pandemic hit the world, Novo Nordisk realized the need to increase the strength of its supply chain. The purpose was reducing failures and risks by actively giving support for the key suppliers, working together and learn together at the Gemba. And they beautifully combine lean techniques like the value stream maps and the HREs with very detailed and deep technical tools like FMEA or FMEA, for instance. Today, we have here with us the key leader in charge of accomplishing this challenge. Lívia Santos Oliveira Moraes, welcome to our session. Thanks for the opportunity of listening to your story. Lívia is a supply chain manager at Novo Nordisk and was the head for this program with the suppliers. Lívia, thank you very much for your participation, and this stage is all yours.
Okay, thank you, Flavio. Good evening. So Flavio introduced me and the project, and I'm here today to share you the learnings of this beautiful project when we decide open the gates of our company and share what we know with our suppliers. So Flavio introduced the Novo Nordisk, and I am proud to say that we are leader in Novo Nordisk in diabetics treatment products, and now we are growing fast in obesity market too. We are delivering our products in 169 countries, and we are responsible for 50% of the world's insulin, and almost 33 million of people are using our products. Novo Nordisk is nowadays with about 45,000 employees, and we are among the world's 10th largest pharma companies measured by market value. And Novo Nordisk has the R&D centers and the strategic production sites in Denmark, Brazil, China, France, and US. I'm from site Montes Claros in Brazil, and here is part of our site. And in Montes Claros, we are today more than 1,000 employees, and we are responsible for 30% of the Novo Nordisk insulin, and we are responsible for 15% of the insulin consumed in the world. So our responsibility is big. We are responsible for saving lives of many people, and because of this, that we are always working to improve our process and quality of our process. Our products are distributed for 52 countries around the world. Now, talking about the project, how this came from, what happened. So, in the end of last year, our CVP challenged us to start one journey in order to eliminate the quality deviations. And the whole site started to work on this, but we figured out that was impossible to reach this goal without include our strategic suppliers. So I am talking about printed packaging material. suppliers. That from now on, I'll call them as PPM suppliers, okay? So we involved them in this journal. At the end of 2020, SiteMock had 6 PPM suppliers. They are with us until today. And this year, we had 18 quality problems, major problems, and 73 small problems that we called complaints regarding bad quality of printed package materials. So we, at this time, we figured out that was necessary a disruptive change. And we, as the first time, we decided to move from the suppliers in order to work close with them to identify the failures mode and try to control it. So our strategy was to eliminate PPM deviation with collaboration and mutual learning between client and suppliers. And we had some drivers like business partnership. This movement was different than the quality inspections. It was more focused on development of our partners. Increase quality mindset, because we are a pharmaceutical company and the quality and compliance is extremely important to us. And talking about our PPM suppliers, their segment is graphic. So it's not so, how can I say, compliance is not so strong as in pharmaceutical industry. So with this project, we intend to increase their quality mindset. Learning culture. We were there to teach them how it's important to learn, fail, but learn fast. The project was based on eliminating failure mode with innovative solutions. And with all of these, we saw the opportunity to increase maturity of any employees, Novo Nordisk employees, in graphic process. And how this worked. So for each suppliers, one person from the institute, people from Novo Nordisk, and a big team from the suppliers spend 1 week together. And at this week, employees from suppliers received lean training FMEA, theory and practice, and training value stream mapping. And in total, we have 15 people from suppliers and 53 people from suppliers and 15 Novo Nordisk employees who work on this project. Here are some pictures of the moment that we were together. And in the first moment, after receiving lean trainings, we helped the supplier mapping their process and evaluate what had value, what was wasting, and the points that required some improvements. So at the first time, they had in their hands the value stream mapping. After understand the process, the opportunities, we developed together the FMEA, when we mapping the failure modes for each process, and together we identify the controls in place, the level of these controls, and we mapping everything regarding the process. This work took 1 week, and we have the second week. Before to move to the second week, the original condition of 6 suppliers together was 422 failures mode, and with different RPNs. And here we can see the distribution of the almost 1,500 RPNs that were mapped. So it's impossible to start by everything, so we decided to start by the critical ones, these 304 in ready. And after this first week, the suppliers created your A3 to understand and solve the quality problems. So in the left side of the A3, we have the current condition, and in the right side, we had the action plan and all actions that would be necessary to implement, and how this process will happen. So in total, for the 6 suppliers, we identified 288 actions. And the plan was implemented, all actions during this year. It could sound very simple for you, but is not the reality of all companies in Brazil, especially these companies regarding to printed packaged material. So we saw the opportunity to work with them in 5S, because we saw not very organized workstations and the area when the equipments that produce our ppms were. So we decided for 2 of 6 give the theory and practice, and we spent 1 week in each one organizing things, because we know that not properly organized workplace could provoke some quality deviations. So the result of this project was now we have 80% of actions implemented. In the original condition, we had 20% of the RNPs in this critical, in a red one. And now with this almost all actions implemented, we reduce the criticals major risk to 20 to 8. And until the end of this year, we will solve all critical risks. So now we have one process much more stable, reliable, and we are reducing the number of deviations that arrive until us. So last year we had 18 quality problems, major quality problems, and until now we had only 6 this year. Before I started the project, the RPN, the average of this was 60. So yellow close reached the red zone. And now we are with this averaging 37 and almost reaching the green zone. So a much more stable and process free of deviation. And what is the next steps? We need to continue work on this learning journal in sustainability of this process, and continue with this work. So we mapped the main process, but the suppliers will extend this work to the other areas, to all different equipments. And now every time that we have one change in suppliers process, when we have new equipment being installed, we ask them to review the FMEAs, because the current condition will change. So we need to continue mapping the new failure modes, or evaluate if the old failure modes will be removed with this change. And what were our learnings? The first thing is share the lean culture. For most part of people that participate of this project, they were listen about lean for the first time. So I think we plant a seed of lean, and we will continue asking them to work on this direction. Novo Nordisk employees getting to know more about supplier process and their value stream mapping, and this support our routine, the conversation, the dialogue between us improved a lot, because now we are sharing the same terms for things. Now we know better, oh, the problem is in this part of your machine or in this step of your process. So the communication improved a lot. Suppliers better understand the impact on the impact on our process, on our product. If you have one problem in one carton, it's not a matter of a different color or missing a character. It's much more than this, because for patient, the first impression is the pack, is the carton. So if one patient have one carton that is not according to the specification, the patient could start thinking about it is really a product that came from Novo Nordisk. This material was stored under the perfect conditions. Maybe this could be a fake product. So the carton, it's the first impression. The information in the insert are crucial for the patient. So now they are better understand about the impact that they can provoke in our product. Suppliers understand that investing failure mode mapping and elimination of this failure mode is a good business. At the first moment, this could sound like, oh, it is a waste of time. It is a waste of money. I have more urgent things to do, but it is an investment in the future, in a more stable supply chain, in this good relation between suppliers and the client. Nowadays, our quality discussions are in a different level. Every time that we have a quality problem, we open the FMEAs and we are looking for the same thing and talking about, but this failure was mapped before? If yes, the action to control this problem was implemented? If yes, why it failed again? So we have more, how can I say, consistent discussion about quality issues and supplier process. And in the end of the day, we have a more stable and reliable supply chain. So I am very proud about this project. There is one sentence that say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far from, we need to develop people that are working with us. And here is one testimonial of one representative from one of the 6 suppliers. This Ivano, he is responsible for box print. And he said that with Novo Nordisk invitation, we saw the opportunity to take a leap forward as an organization. The result in FMEA was rich, with many mapped failure modes and a robust call to action. And we are more preventive, more analytical, and more integrated. So I'm happy, I'm proud, because we could share our knowledge, share the way that we are operating with our suppliers. And I believe that this learning that is shared we received the returns, and they are amazing. So is it that I have to share with you? It is our experience, and is one start as a project, but it was implemented in our routine from now on.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Livia. I would like to invite our friends who are participating on the session to send questions. So we have open here the chat for questions to Livia. And before the questions from the audience, Livia, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You know, this effort to develop the supplier, you know, to develop a different organization that's not yours, is not common here in Brazil. You know, I don't think it's common in any parts of the world. It's not something that the companies used to do. So that's why we think this is different, and it fits with what we believe in terms of what is the responsibility of an organization in terms of developing the supply chain in a broad sense, as you were doing. So my question to you is, how did the senior managers, the owners, you know, the CEOs, because most part of these companies are from family, they're familiar companies, they're small and mid-sized. Some of them are big, we know, but most part of them are still controlled by families or are not so, like, say, professional companies, as we could say. How did senior managers, how did they get this invitation from you? Because sometimes it could sound a little bit weird. I would like to understand, how did they get the message? How did they receive this invitation to participate on an effort like this?
Yes. In fact, there is a background, because Novo Nordisk is a very serious and demand company when we are talking about quality. So the suppliers are more, how can I say, they have more experience to deliver to the national market. And Novo Nordisk, we are a Danish company. We are providing for supplying European market, Japanese market, American market. So we are very demand in terms of quality. And those suppliers, all of them told us every time, in every opportunity, that Novo Nordisk helping them improve quality in their process. So they trust on us, they believe on us, and when we call them to join to this project, all of them saw it as a great opportunity to improve even more their process.
Okay.
So it was very well accepted by them.
Okay. So there was a previous condition, you know, they know you and the way you think, the way your customers demand from you, and of course you demand from them. So European was quite natural for them to get this invitation. That's amazing.
And it is interesting because I mentioned that we had 6 suppliers in this project. Some of them are more than 15 years with us, but we had one that was pretty new. This one was in a kind of ramp-up phase with us. But all of them are received with openness, and really saw this project as a great opportunity for them.
Great, Livia. Thank you very much. Just let me switch a little bit the angle. I'm still looking at the people inside the suppliers. How did the frontline people, I mean, the managers, how did they get your support? I mean, in terms of receiving you there, I mean, you are the customer and you're looking at my process here. So how did you manage to work with the frontline people?
We start by inviting the board of the suppliers to one meeting when we explained the purpose of this project. And we were very clear, it is not an audit, it is not an inspection. We won't be punished by the failure modes that we would found, but it is one learning journal. We really believe that if you would like to think to have a future free of quality deviations, we need to invest on them. So we were very clear and honest about our intentions, and they trust on us. And my last slide is it's represent a lot this trust to make a difference, and we continue work like this.
Amazing. So you have like the open space to work. I mean, the basic thinking were pretty much aligned before we start this. Great.
Yes.
Thank you, Olivia. We have a question here from one of our participants, from Scott Martin. And the question is, how do you approach smaller suppliers about implementing lean methods?
Yeah. During this first context, we explained that we understand some kinds of limitations like budget, like capacity, like the demand that they have, so that we'll try to do it in a way that won't impact them on these terms. And we explained that there is different levels of solutions. Of course, that the best ones are related to technology, automation, but that many problems could be solved with simple actions. Sometimes to organize is not necessary. Organization, for instance, not mean spend money. So we support them to thinking about good actions, but not so expensive actions.
Mm-hmm.
For specific process of failure modes, we really suggest technology,
Mm-hmm.
because our philosophy is that we need to change to technology to remove from the person the decision or the products be good or not depends on the analysis of this person.
Mm-hmm.
We are trying to change their mindset, but we were very, how can I say, respectful with them.
Mm-hmm.
And with their limitations.
Perfect, Lydia. We have time for, there's very good questions here. The next one is from Sudarshan. How did you drive healthy competition between suppliers, assuming some of them were competitors? Did they agree to collaborate with each other, or how did we get them from doing that?
This project was conducted, separated. We avoid to mix, to put the competitors together. Mm-hmm. In some trainings that we provided, quality trainings, problem solve trainings, during this project we did it, mm-hmm. but we always have the how can I say, care to not put competitors together. They know themselves, they know who mm-hmm. are our suppliers, but we try to avoid these delicate situations. But we were clear that all PPM suppliers were included in these projects. So I think be open, be honest, be respectful. These are elements that support us on this. So they want, in the beginning of the process, they were afraid, oh, I don't want to open this, but mm-hmm. we were clear, very clear, and at the beginning that we won't share a specific process or systems or equipment, that our proposal was not it, mm-hmm. was really eliminate failure modes. Perfect. So they were comfortable to
So it was kind of more natural for them. Okay. We have time just for one very quick one from Hector Rincon. Did you change inside Novo Nordisk plants or warehouse picking or packing process in order to identify more products inside or not delivery to this customer applying lean? Are you looking inside Novo Nordisk?
Yes, we look inside. This project was a site mock project, so productions are running similar process, but inside Novo Nordisk, and we put our people together. So we put the supplier operator talk with Novo Nordisk operators to very understand the interface of the process, how one interfere in the job of the other one. And that was very nice to see that some process was a waste for the supplier and a waste to us. So we create this communication, and again, now we have one know more about the other process.
Perfect. And that's the beauty of this project.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Livia. Unfortunately, our time is over. I could spend double the time here asking you more questions, but I think we have done a great contribution to our community, and that's why we think about we should develop our partners. So the responsibility for sharing what we know and share what we learned with our customers and our supplier. This is going to make the difference. So thank you very much, Livia, for sharing your knowledge, and thank you very much as customers for what you're doing for us. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you all for being with me until now.
Thank you, Livia. See you soon. Bye-bye.